Well, I'm here at Santa Margarita Ranch to check out the Best of the West show. It's gonna be a great time seeing steam trains and tractors all in one place. Come on, let's go check it out. Oh, it's a blessed day to be here at the Santa Margarita Ranch to check out the Best of the West show. Hosted by the Paso Robles Pioneer Committee and the Rossi Foundation in conjunction with the historic Santa Margarita Ranch, the Best of the West show is a fun event where collectors of vintage equipment, whether it's farm equipment, construction equipment, military equipment, all come together to show off their nice machines. Here we'll see all kinds of wonderful makers of machinery, whether it's John Deere, Caterpillar, Holt, Ford, Farmall, Alice Chalmers, and so much more, and so many unique shapes and sizes. I'm telling you, this is a fun event to peruse through and find your favorite piece of heavy machinery. Some of these tractors you'll see will operate around the grounds from time to time. Now, one of my favorite tractor models is this Caterpillar 60 because a friend of ours, or actually a relative, John Morgan, owns one of these. If you want to see it in action, check out my video about the Morgan family plowing bee. Of course, there are other significant Caterpillar tractors here, including this small group from the Veer Camp collection out of Placerville, California. Built in 1926, a year after the 1925 consolidation of both the CL Best and Holt manufacturing companies that led to the creation of Caterpillar on April 15th, 1925. This little tractor was built as a showpiece for the then new company Caterpillar and was the first one to be designed and built in the new company. Up to its creation, Caterpillar used leftover assets from both Holt and Best companies to manufacture their tractors. Also in attendance are tractors representing the two companies that merged to become Caterpillar, like this number 111 traction engine from the Holt manufacturing company out of Stockton, California, and this CL Best gas traction company round wheel tractor from 1911. The reason Holt and Best merged to become Caterpillar was to compete with the Ford Motor Company and their line of Fordson tractors. Speaking of CL Best tractors, here's a whole lineup of such machines, all from a group known as Best Restoration. And it's not just vintage Caterpillar equipment that's showcased here. There's also representatives showcasing the latest construction equipment from the company. Speaking of construction equipment, there's a fun little area where guys who own vintage construction equipment like bulldozers, dump trucks, and graders can come over and basically play in a giant sandbox. Now over here is a group of cowboys from the Lazy JT Ranch of Bitterwater, California. Here you can partake in activities with the cowboys, whether it's roping, branding, or having a cowboy breakfast or lunch, like you would have done on the wide open plains. And speaking of wide open spaces, out here you'll see the display of war equipment. Here we'll see the many vehicles used in war in many shapes and sizes. and each with a unique story attached to them. This includes this 1945 Ford U.S. Navy GPW Jeep. There's also a small recreation of a camp that was used during World War II that was made by the war reenactors that were here for this event. The war reenactors were extremely helpful with Memorial Day celebrations dedicated to those who paid the ultimate price for our freedoms. Afterwards, the audience got a grand parade of military vehicles as they departed and headed back to their area. Of course, there are also merchants selling wonderful tractor-related items. In this case, Tim's Vintage Toys and Books, a great place to get vintage reading material about tractors. Now across the creek and up the hill, the Pacific Coast Railroad was offering train rides to visitors who came to see the Best of the West show. And it was fun to ride this little railway. We'll talk more about this railroad on Railroad Adventures with Kendall. Anyway, during this event, we had an unexpected surprise. We ran into Disney legend Bob Gurr, the last living Imagineer hired by Walt Disney himself. His works include the Disneyland Monorail, the Matterhorn bobsleds, Autotopia, and the Haunted Mansion. However, today, Bob is helping our friend Scott Kennedy from the Durango and Silverton pilot the Melodia locomotive and its train of Santa Fe and Disneyland coaches on a Grand Circle tour of the Pacific Coast Railroad. As I said earlier, some of these machines are taken out and driven around the property for the fun of it. But the real spectacle of these in a parade will be worth watching. So let's watch these tractors start up and prepare for the big tractor parade. With all of their engines fired up, it is time for the tractors to put on the big parade. So let's sit back and watch all these wonderful machines in motion. And that was the 2025 Best of the West show here at the historic Santa Margarita Ranch. If you want to see this fun event, come next year on Memorial Day weekend. That's when this wonderful event is held. I had a fun time here at the Best of the West show here at the Santa Margarita Ranch and can't wait to go on a future adventure with you. But until then, see you later folks, and may your gifts bless the world.